takes that much time to finish up. So again, I need time to make sure that you're doing a good job because tomorrow's the last day to do an exceptional job. All right, some of you guys improved a whole bunch last test. I'd like to continue that. All right, so speak up, please, if you're not sure about something. All right, Yosef, you hear me?
Yeah.
I mean it. All right, continue heading in the right direction. Aiden, you hear me? All right, I mean it, Aiden. I don't want you messing around. All right? Yes, tomorrow. All right, we're finishing up the review right now.
Will you do the test or?
Always the test.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So we left off at question number 17. Here we go. Now it says here, if it costs $50 to rent a kayak for 4 hours, if the cost is proportional to the number of hours rented, which of the following is not equivalent? So remember, please, let me just walk you through these. So we want to know how much it costs per hour. So we want the cost per hour. What I'm trying to remind you of on that means to take whatever the cost is and divide it by the number of hours. And 50 divided by 4 is what?
12.5.
Thank you. $12.50 per what? Per hour. Is everybody good on this? All right. Now, they're giving you different times over here. So all you have to do is multiply. All you have to do is multiply each number of hours by what? By 1250. Correct answer would be what? C. Exactly correct. All right. Does anybody have an issue with that? Now listen, guys. I don't want to fuss today. I want to make sure you're understanding me, and I want to make sure you're in good shape. And I can't see what you got on your iPads, so I want you to pay attention. All right. You should be writing this information down. All right. If this isn't on your iPad, you're making a mistake. All right. I don't care if you know how to do it. All right. I want you writing things out, so I want you to make an A on tomorrow's test. All right. Thank you. Over here. Now, anytime you have a proportion, we say we cross multiply. All right. So we'll look at the cross multiplying. That would be y times 2, which is 2y is equal to, now we're going to cross multiply the other direction, 4 times 1.3, which is 5.2. So 2y equals 5.2. And after we cross multiply, we divide. All right. And when we divide by 2, we can see that y is 2.6. All right. Pretty happy with that. All right, moving forward. It says a soup recipe calls for 2 pounds of rice for 25 servings. How many pounds of rice are needed for 30? Well, again, you could set this up as a proportion and say there are 2 pounds for every 25 servings equals. And over here we want 30 servings. So where does the 30 go? On the bottom. So we can put 30 servings on the bottom and X on the top. Everybody good? Now when we cross multiply again, try to stay with me, 25X is equal to, multiply this way, 60. And then somebody tell me X is equal to 2.4, is that right? So I'm looking at C. All right, Carter, is everything good? Okay. Joseph? Justice, you still good? All right, thank you, buddy. All right, now 1 inch is to 2 feet. Well, I don't think this one is that hard for us, right? If something's 3 inches and 1 inch is 2 feet, that means it has to be what? 6 feet. Does anybody have any issues with that? I would expect you guys to just look at that and say that's the answer. Because again, what I'm trying to tell you is 1 inch is what? 2 feet. Well, if you have 3 inches, that means you have 3 times as much. So that would have to be 3 times as much, so that would make it 6 feet. Anybody have any questions with that? All right. Now over here, interesting. All right, and some of you guys, part of the reason why this is on here is because you need to make sure that you can do this on your calculator properly, because your calculator won't let you type in some bigger fractions. All right, so let's see what it says. Express the ratio of the cow's heart rate. So a cow's heart rate is what? So I'm going to put 66 to a hamster's heart rate, which is what?
450.
Now you can just, I think that's okay to type it on your calculator, right? And that would reduce down to, is that correct, guys? 11 over 75. Everybody good on this? All right, now I think as we go on now, express the ratio of the mass of a cat, which is 2,000, to the mass of a cow, which is what? 800,000. Now the problem here is some of you try to type that on the calculator, it doesn't let you do that. So we have to do what to the zeros? Yeah, cross out some zeros. So I can cross out 3 zeros here, so I can cross out 3 zeros here. Is everybody okay with this? And then when you reduce that, you don't need a calculator to reduce that. Yes, 1 over 400. 1 over 400. Carmen, you okay over there? Bless you. All right, here we go. Now, say it again. No, because we're reducing the fraction, kiddo. Do you want me to show you, or are you good with that explanation? Okay. All right, now, it says a 4-gallon jug of milk costs $5.60. All right. Now, what I would like for you to say was then, what would 1 gallon cost? Well, everybody take $5.60 for me and divide that by 4. And somebody tell me what that worked out to be. Is that correct? So it's $1.40 per what? Per 1 gallon, right? Well, you're interested in the cost of what? Half a gallon. Just divide by 2. And so we would say that's what? 70 cents per gallon. Now listen, I'm sorry, 70 cents every what? Half a gallon. Yeah, now make sure you understand that now. You might have any issues with that. You're good, right? Yes, ma'am. Tell me. Yes, here we go. Watch. Do you understand that I have $5.60 for what? 4 gallons. You see that? So I just want to know how much it would cost for 1 gallon. So take your calculator and do 560 and divide it by 4. So this represents $1.40 for every what? For every 1 gallon. Do you agree with me? And if it's for every gallon, now I want it as a what? Half a gallon. So if 1 gallon costs $1.40, then a half a gallon will cost 70 cents. Do you see that or not? And I want to show you if you don't. I just divided by 2. But let me show you this. Let me draw a picture just to make sure you're hearing me. I'm going to draw a gallon for you. And there's a gallon, right? So if that represents a gallon, what would this represent? That's right. I took half of it. Do you agree? Now, the total cost of 1 gallon, stay with me now, the total cost of 1 gallon is $1.40. I don't want a whole gallon, I just want what? So I would take half of the money. Does that make sense now, right? So again, 70 cents for every what? For every half a gallon. Now, what I'm really trying to teach some of you guys to do, even though some of you are like, I don't need to draw that out, but sometimes you're going to get to a question you don't understand. If you're able to draw it out, the numbers will make better sense to you if you learn to draw things out. All right, that helped me out. The absolute most was being able to draw it out and see what it was. All right, any questions so far? All right, we're in good shape. Yes. All right, now let's look at the triangles. Again, similar means same shape, just a different what?
Size.
Just a different size. All right. Now, what can you tell me about the angles? The angles are what? The same. The angles are the same, but the sides are proportional. All right. So they're asking you what corresponds to M. Wait a minute now. Yeah, they totally misrepresented this up here. I don't know why it says. Do you see in the directions right here, guys? Everybody look at this. Look at this right here. It says ABC is similar to FGH. Everybody see that? That doesn't make sense. Do you agree? So let's rewrite it. Let's rewrite it. So if I said, everybody rewrite it. K, then we would say triangle K. Well, let's just do it alphabetically. JKL. Triangle JKL. Now I want to show you something. That's the symbol. That's the symbol for similar. That's the symbol for similar. So what does JKL? What does J correspond to? What letter? Thank you, Aiden.
J corresponds to
Very nice work. M. So J was first, so I wrote M first. Now what does K correspond to, Aiden? N. And then what?
L is.
That's correct. So just, I don't know why that, I don't know how I made that mistake. All right, so change this up. Make sure you look at that properly. Right? So now, please look at that. Now, what we want to do is, please look at my drawing now. MP corresponds to what?
LJ.
That's exactly right. Does everybody see that? Everybody good? All right. Now, it's not going to be that big a deal anyway because you could have just said what? MP is here, right?
That's what I did.
And MP is right here. Do you agree?
Yep.
What?
I don't understand.
You don't understand how I got the letters?
No.
All right, let me show you real quick. Look up. Look how simple this is. So this is just JKL. See that? So now, similar sign. Agree? Now look. J has how many marks in it?
2.
So that has to be 2 marks. You with me?
Yeah.
And so now I'm on K. K has how many marks?
1.
So it has to be 2. See that now, right? And your final one has 3, so that has to go there. Good with that. That's how simple that is. Very simple. What?
So I thought that if it's an MP, you would have to put JL instead of L.
You're actually correct. It should be JL. Very smart, too. Very, very good.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But again, does it really matter if we're talking about JL or LJ? It's the same. All right? So technically, they're correct, but you're absolutely correct. All right? Technically speaking, if I say JL, I should say MP. That's a very good observation. All right? So now, let's look up. Which angle is congruent to angle M? Which angle is congruent to angle M, somebody? J. All right, I feel we're good with this. Does anybody want me to say anything more on that? That's kind of easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not hard. You got it all now?
So,
Or do I need to say something more? Come on.
so J and L goes with MP, but they both have different meanings.
Yes. But do you see what we're talking about? So listen right now. Do you see that JL is, there's 2 marks and 3 marks. So there's 2 marks and 3 marks over here too. You with me? All right. All right, let's continue on. All right. So it says here, it says Kyle began working on a computer program after 7 1/5 hours. He had completed 20 1/10 lines of code. What is the unit rate of programming? Now look, here's where some people make mistakes. So listen, I'm going to say it one more time. Everybody look up. Please look up. 100% you can get this right if you learn this technique. I want in what? Code per hour. Code per hour. So what goes into the calculator first?
Oh, code.
Code. So what was our code? 20 and 1/10 per what? 7 and 1/5. Does everybody hear me? Right? Carly, does that make sense? All right. So now somebody divide that out and tell me what that worked out to be, please. Jack. Let's Jack. Right over here.
2 and 19, 24 lines.
2 and 19 over what? 24 lines of code per hour. And thank you. I want that wording on the test also. And all I did was I changed the numbers up, guys. Yeah, if there's something we have to, yeah. I think I'm going to because I think I asked you a couple conversion problems. But what? What? Don't be lazy, man. You're not lazy. Just write codes per hour. All right. Here we go. Number 27. Joel works as an auditor and earns $36,920 per year. Ooh. So, do you know how many weeks are in a year, guys? How many? 52. If you didn't know that, you can look up tomorrow 52 weeks in a year. You with me? So right now, it's going to be what? We want his weekly earnings, or how much does he earn, which is money per week. So we're going to divide that by 52. And go ahead. Tell me what that was.
I got $710.
$710
a week.
per week. $710 per week. Anybody have any issues with that? All right. All right, now let's look here. At the same time, a 15-foot pole casts a 7.5-foot shadow. So here we go. I'm going to draw a pole, and then I'm going to create a shadow. All right, so here's my 15-foot pole. Here's my 7.5 shadow. And the nearby tree casts a 24-foot shadow. So if this is 24 feet, then how big, right? Then how big would my tree have to be? So how would I set this up? Carter, how would I set this up?
So, so 15 divided by 2 is 7.
That is exactly correct, buddy.
And then you have to reverse it, so you have to times 24 by 2.
That's exactly correct, man. You're awesome. 48 feet. So his observation was this, guys. The pole is half as big as the shadow. Everybody agree with that? So what number would be for the tree to make it half? 48. Does everybody agree with that? All right. Now, if you want to do it as a proportion, you could just say 15 over 7.5 equals x over 24. But I'd much rather do it like he said. Just make a simple observation on that. Yes.
Is the test going to be as big as
No. Bless you. Bigger. 29. The cost of paper towels, $14.40 for 9 rolls. So how much for a roll? Maya, what did you get? Number 29. Right, exactly. Tell me what that is. I think you need a new calculator. Hold on. Do it again, please. 14.40 divided by 9. Wow. A little bit off there. $1.60 per roll. $1.60 per roll. All right, set the proportion up for me.
So,
Yep.
So I did 3 and 1 of 5 divided by 3, and then I got 35.
So it's $35 per what? Per ounce. Look what he did. That's a good way of doing that.
And then I times it by 7 and got 200.
And you multiply that by 7 and you got what? $245 for the 7 ounces. All right, that's a good job. Everybody happy with this? All right, figure out how much it costs per ounce, then multiplying is okay. You could have set up a proportion, right? Said 105 over 3 is equal to x over 7. It's the same thing. All right. Now let's look at 31. It says Ryan is building a model. 2 inches is 5 meters. So let's do that. 2 inches is for 5 meters. And we have something that is what? 95 meters. So what would that represent in inches? All right, does everybody see that? So now we can cross multiply, correct? So 5x equals 190. And so if I divide that by 5, somebody tell me what that gets. 38 inches.
Did you do 95 divided by 5?
Yes. Yep. Because that'll tell you how many meters per inch. All right. Anybody have any issues? Seems like we're doing okay. All right, let's move on. All right, now they're saying, all right, the right. ABC is FGH. Now, does everybody see how they got it twisted up a little bit here on you, right? So what I want you to do now is I want to make sure you see AB goes to what? Yes. Everybody see that? And then BC goes with what? Help me. BC goes with? That is 100% correct. Now you're in good shape. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I'm looking right here, kiddo. AB has to go to FG right there. You see what I'm saying? Then I talked about BC. So BC, you see what I'm highlighting? It's the same as what? GH now. You see how you do that? You don't really look at the triangle as much as you look at the letters.
How do you know that's not F?
Because they can't mess you up on that. So that's why I was trying to show you earlier. So please watch. A has to go with what? B has to go with, and C has to go with. So if I ask you about AB, you just go A goes to F and B goes to G. You with me? And then over here, if you say BC, GH. You look at here rather than here, because that's kind of confusing when it's twisted around. That's why you look at the letters and not necessarily that.
Wait, don't you have to like flip it?
Yes, that's what we're talking about. Instead of flipping it, look at the letters up here and compare it to the letters there. They're not mixed up. They'll never be mixed up. These can be mixed up over here on the figure, but not on the statement. This is called the proportion statement. You hear me? All right. So now we know, for example, that in this case, 28 over 20 is equal to 15. 28 is, 15 goes on the bottom, x goes on the top. All right. Now when you cross multiply, we get 20x is equal to, what is that, 420? Well, good for you, so watch. See what I did? Now watch, please. Look real careful. So do you see I put 28 on the top, right? 28 is the green. So the green has to go on the top. Right? So now x is equal to what? 21. Everybody okay with that? Look carefully. Come on. That's right. Everybody good? Now it says if A is 50 degrees, so let's put a 50 in there, and B is 45. Angle H. Well, what does H correspond to, guys? What does H correspond to? H goes with C, right? So H is whatever C is, but I don't have C. Wow, who can tell me how to find C? Do you remember? Anybody tell me?
Oh, so the triangle, it's 180.
Yay, very good remembering. All right. The angles of a triangle always add up to what? 180. So
the 15 and 45 added equal 95. The C would be 100.
well, 180 minus 95. Do that on your calculator. 180 minus 95. I'm waiting for you.
It's 85.
Yes, it is. That is 85. So if C is 85, then that makes what? 85. Good job on that. Very good, Aiden. All right. Moving forward, right? Yes, the angles of a triangle add up to 180. Angles of a triangle add up to 180. Okay, now a 12-foot pole casts an 18-foot shadow. So here's 12 feet, and your shadow's always on the ground. Now, there's a 30-foot shadow over here. So I want to know how tall it would be. So how do I set up the proportion? Yes, that's good. But let's set a proportion up. You're right. Set the proportion up for me. That's right. 12 over 18 is equal to... Thank you, buddy. Everybody see that? And now when we cross multiply... Yes, I'm happy with you. So we'd have 18x is equal to 360. And then we divide and get x equals what? I think 20 feet. That was very good. What?
How do you get 20 feet?
360 divided by 18. Do that on your calculator. 360 divided by 18. You good? Yes, sir. Okay, so now what you got to look at is, here is, please watch, this is the height and this is the shadow, correct? This is over here, they give me the shadow and no height. You with me? Well, I mean, you can, you know, I wouldn't say always, but I'm just saying 12 over 18 is equal to x over 30. You see what I'm saying, right? You could also do this. Please watch, just so you understand me. You could say 12 over x equals 18 over 30 also. Doesn't matter how you set it up as long as you put what corresponds together. You understand that? Okay, that was good. Okay, a half an inch is equal to 4 feet. So instead of doing a half inch is equal to 4 feet, it might be easier just to say that.
1 inch is equal to 8.
Right. Everybody think about that now. So we don't have to worry about it. We just say 1 inch is to what? 8 feet. Now I have 3.2 inches. Where does the 3.2 go?
On the top.
On the top. 3.2 over x. Everybody good? And so now when you cross multiply, x equals 8 times 3.2. Somebody tell me what that is.
25.6.
25.6 feet. 25.6 feet. You good? Any questions? All right, now again, I went back on the test. This is on there. So again, I'm just making sure you see this correctly. That would be 6/9 divided by 2, right?
No.
6/9 divided by 2. Miss Connery, what is it? Is everybody okay with that being 1/3?
Yes.
1/3. All right, let's continue on. Which of the following inequalities orders the numbers from least to greatest? Well, obviously, which one is the smallest there? 0.03 is the absolute smallest. 0.03 is the smallest, so I know it can't be F, J, or K. Now, 1/4 is what decimal? 0.25. So 0.25 would be greater than 0.2. So does everybody agree that my answer would have to be what? G. Now, if you forgot what 1/4 is, you can just do 1 divided by 4 on your calculator. Does everybody agree with that? All right, let's go to the next one. All right. It says in the figure below, triangle ABC and DEF are similar. What is the perimeter? Well, let's look at this carefully. Let's see how smart we are. If this right here is 6, 6, and 10, if this is 3 and this is a 5, what does DE have to be?
3.
Everybody happy with that? Come on, come on. Everybody's got to look at that and say 3, right? All right, I was happy if you said that. Now, notice, is the correct answer A?
No.
No. If you put A, you're wrong because they're asking about the what? They're asking you about the perimeter. Shh, everything is okay. Come on. We're asking about the perimeter. So what's the perimeter of DEF? What's the perimeter of that? Tell me.
8. Oh, wait, no. I forgot to add. It's 11.
11. Thank you very
Add
much.
the extra 3.
I got that,
Yeah.
Mr. Stone.
C is good.
Wait, how did you get a
Perimeter means to add up. Stop doing that. You're obviously not that coordinated to be doing that. Now, the perimeter means to do what? Add up, right? So we have to add up 3 plus 3 plus 5. That's what perimeter is. Is that good for you? You sure? Okay, good. Tell me.
So how'd you get the other 3?
Well, because you're recognizing that the triangles are similar, correct? So this triangle, you're supposed to say, is twice as big as this one. How did I know that? Because there's a 10 and a 5.
Oh.
You with me? So the other one has to be 3. Yes, good. All right, and then we're doing perimeter. All right, so let's look about number 39. Marcus's favorite casserole recipe requires 3 eggs, and it makes 6 servings. He wants to use 5 eggs. How many servings will that be? Well, again, look at this relationship. 3 eggs to 6 servings. That means every egg, 1 egg is equal to what? 2 servings. Everybody with me on this? 1 egg is equivalent to 2 servings. And they're asking me about what?
5.
They're asking about 5 eggs, which would be 10 servings. I think that's pretty good. All right, is everybody happy with that? Any questions? All right, now let's check out 40. All right, now, again, 6 1/8. All right, if you want to use your calculator, I'm okay with that. But you should be able to tell me 6 plus 1/8 is the same as 6 1/8. And I told you I'd like you to leave that as 49 over what? 49 over 8. Everybody okay with that? Then 1 1/16 is the same as 1 1/16, which is the same as what? 17 over 16, right? So 49 over 8 divided by 17 over 16. And what does that come out to be, please?
5 and 13 over 17, which
Well, I don't.
is number.
Yeah. What is that?
9.
I think you're correct. Is that right? 98 over 17?
Yeah, I accidentally pressed the fractions.
What's the matter? What's the matter, kid?
Which
I just took on my calculator 49 eighths divided by 17 sixteenths. But that's not one of the answer choices. What do I have to do with that number? Huh? What? What did you get for an answer? And you can't tell me what 5 3/17 is the same as? Ooh, is that correct? I know, because it's 13 over 17. Come on, that's what I'm saying. Check your work. If you would check your work, you'd be A+. Seriously. You know what I mean? Come on, buddy. All right, are you okay or not?
So the answer is C.
Yes, C.
I did 49.
Eighths. 49 ABC 8 divided by 17 ABC 16. So now convert it to an improper fraction. Second ABC. Do it. Did it do that or not? That's all right. Let me look. Type on your calculator 49 ABC divided by 17 3. Nice, right? That's exactly correct. Exactly correct. All right. Come on, let's try to get finished. 41. Now, what's the smallest here?
6 over 5.
I don't,
Wait, no, yeah, no.
right? 9 divided by 8 is 1.125.
Yeah, no.
6 over 5 is 1.2.
Yeah.
7 divided by 4 is 1.75. And 5 divided by 3 is 1.6 repeating. So the smallest is what?
6 to 9. Oh, wait, no.
9 over 8, correct?
What about
So it's not C or D or E. Now, which one is bigger, 7/4 or 5/3? 7/4 is bigger. Definitely is. I'm listening.
So you just divide?
Yeah. All I do is I just take 5 divided by 3 on your calculator. Remember, that's what a fraction bar means. Divide, guys. Come on. 5 divided by 3. 7 divided by 4. 6 divided by 5. 9 divided by 8. Come on. We got to do that. You got to know that. All right. Next. If cantaloupe sells for $1.49 each, or 3 for $3.90, how much is saved on each cantaloupe? How much is saved on each cantaloupe? Well, if you buy a 3 for $1.90, then how much is each one going to be? $1.30. But normally it costs what? $1.49. So we get to save how much money? You get to save 19 cents on each cantaloupe. Because normally it costs $1.49, and now you get it for $1.30. Now do you see where the 19 comes from? Because you're subtracting them, right? What? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. You're right. Should be 43. Oh, wait a minute. No, I just made a mistake when I copied this on here. That's all. So it doesn't matter. Same problem. All right, 43. What is the value of x? So cross multiply and divide, right? What is it? It is 12. All right, don't forget when you cross multiply, 6x equals 72 divided by 6. All right, last one. So we have 150 servings for 4.5 liters. I have what? 80 servings, and I want to know how many liters. Does everybody agree with that? So again, 150x is equal to, what is that? 360. Thank you very much. And then divide.
2.4.
All right, I feel pretty good, guys. All right, that's the whole thing. Tell me, I'll let you look at it.
Oh! If my board doesn't break down yet, I got it.
No, you did it backwards. 360 divided by 150. You with me? All right, good job, guys. Review.
That's